Happy 2020, ladies and gentlemen. First live podcast of 2020 from the home studio. So happy New Year. I hope your 2020s are kicking off great. We're recording this actually on Friday, January 3rd. It's been a couple of days. And I'm actually jumping right in without even doing our standard intro. For the newer watchers or listeners on Facebook or who actually will be listening to this in the podcast world, you know what? I'll throw one in real quick. Usually my traditional intro is, good day and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Live the Fuel show. So this evening, and then I intro a new guest co-host. So obviously today, I'm not bringing on a guest co-host because I've had some requests over the past couple of years for a new format test. So we're going to try that out. We're still going to be bringing on epic guest co-hosts that are experts in the health, business, and or lifestyle sectors because that's what I'm passionate about. But obviously, some people, after 3.5 years of podcasting, almost 4 years now, have, enjoyed what I've brought to the table too. So thank you for asking for this and requesting this. But I do have a little acquisition of knowledge over all these years, and I figured let's start sharing that because part of the brand, Live the Fuel. Shout out to Endurance Woodcraft. James, amazing sign maker. That is my standard backdrop now for all the podcasts in the home studio. Obviously, there's fire in the logo. So for people that are going to listen to this as one of our first 2020 podcasts, as I air it, as a new Fuel Up Friday. That's right. We're going with a new theme. Fuel Up Friday, hashtag Fuel Up, because everything I do is around fuel. Obviously, live the fuel. Again, for the old school people, FUEL is an acronym, stands for the Fired Up Epic Life. So translated, live the Fired Up Epic Life is the old school format that launched this brand. Quick history on that, it launched as a Facebook page. I just want to start sharing my own mindset work and my own goals on motivation and inspiration to get my entrepreneurial spirits going and all the other cool stuff that has transposed since. So then obviously in 2019, we launched Fuel Foundations, our new nonprofit arm. And so obviously a lot of things going around fuel. I'm really trying to work that angle of turning fuel into a positive verb, an action statement or action keyword, because let's just be real. We got a new decade here, right? 2020, 2019 is behind us. A whole new decade, 10 more years of super fun, epic adventures are ahead. And per my keywords in the brand, live the fuel, live the fired up epic life, I enjoy firing myself up as well as firing you guys up. So that'll be the new theme for a new Friday show. So we're still going to air 2 shows a week here in 2020. But now, one of the shows will be standard, like we've always done, at bringing on a guest co-host. It'll be a long format, going almost an hour usually. Admittedly, over the history, some shows have gone longer. It just depends on how much we were geeking out and if I had any other shows planned behind it. Now, that being said, this new Fuel Up Friday, hashtag Fuel Up, will be a shorter format. That's right. We're only 3.5 minutes into the recording here. I'm not going to go that short. We will talk a little bit more because I do have some other stuff to share today. But my goal now is to basically keep it under 30 minutes. There are those attention spans that even though podcasting is digital content and the video content that we're recording here live on Facebook that will also get pushed to YouTube, it's shorter format content. So some people, even though it's digital and you can pause it and come back and play it again later, just don't like 1 hour long shows. Let's just be real. So I'm trying to make everybody happy as well as making myself happy. And I'm so busy and I'm always coming across awesome new things and changes and influencers for the conferences I go to or the books that I've read or the podcasts that I also still listen to, that I've got my own perspective to share with you guys. And I want to help bring that to the table. And obviously some of the listeners requested it. So thank you. So anyway, guys, new short format on Fridays. And we will consider to air the traditional long format with our guest co-hosts earlier in the week. Traditionally, it's usually Tuesdays. So I think, I don't know, 3.5 years ago, I think I was trying to launch shows on, I think we originally started doing Mondays, Wednesdays. Then we switched to Tuesday, Thursdays. So it doesn't really matter. Again, it's digital content. Once it's up, it's evergreen. It's there forever. So it is what it is. So anyway, that's the new goal. So for today's Fuel Up Friday, to get into 2020, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm sure some of you guys may or may not have been having some fun with trying to set new resolutions. And I'm going to be the first one to tell you, I haven't even thought about a resolution. I've never set a resolution. I've never thought, I mean, to be fair, let's be real. I have thought about setting resolutions. And one thing I've learned over the years from all the trials and tribulations and adventures I've gone on and career attempts I've done or starting businesses, etc., is that a lot of it becomes a flash in the pan. Now, don't get me wrong. If some of you guys are listening to this and you actually are successful with setting resolutions that are effective come January and pushing you into the new year, then kudos. I wish you success and absolute happiness throughout that process. So, but let's be real. There's a lot of people out there that set them and they set their goals. And I don't want to say this the wrong way, not too high. I truly believe in setting epic, high, aggressive goals that is going to get you out of your comfort zone, get you uncomfortable, get you to challenge yourself. That's a big part of this game, right? But part of that challenge is reminding yourself to not beat yourself up over it, because guess what? Part of the reason why we set high and sometimes unattainable goals or really far-reaching goals that might take longer than a year is because we need to. Okay, there's that age-old thing like, oh, you got to put in 110%. Well, I agree, because that way, even if you don't reach 110%, you still probably hit 80 to 90% of your potential on that project, on that company you're looking to launch, on that job aspiration, on that, your collegiate experiences if you're in school or whatever. But if you set your goals only at 100%, and you still have that 20 to 30% lacking variable, well, now you only came in at, let's say, 70. So again, set them high, set them hard, and go for them. That being said, I want to make sure people understand that we need to be patient with the process. And real quick, shout out to Dave Steele. That's right, Dave. I see you're commenting. This guy, I think he's still touring here in this country, or maybe he went back. I don't know. This guy is epic. I got to look back at his other episode, but a true pioneer and person who's looking to inspire others in the vision impaired sector in this country, in his own country, back in the other side of the world. I forget that. I think it's like 5 hours difference, but this guy has been touring our country, getting his book out there, and I love what he's been doing. So real quick, I'm just going to give him a shout out, Dave Steele. And I'm actually going to go back and look for his episode while I'm talking to you guys, because I'm a multitasker sometimes. So back to my point, setting realistic goals, but also setting them high, but then also having the patience to attain them. So part of this challenge is you're going to have roadblocks. You're going to have speed bumps. You're going to have people slap you right in the face. I mean, hopefully not. But long story short, it comes with the territory, okay? So be patient with that. Be willing to accept that challenge and that stress that comes with the process, but also be patient with yourself and take that deep breath, take that pause. I've been guilty of it. Sometimes I snap and lose my crap, man. And it's like, all right, let's try and be patient with the process. Okay. Also, sometimes you set these goals and you might be like super anal retentive like me. And maybe you have like bullet points, or you got like, I got a dry erase board here that I'm constantly updating weekly. I wipe stuff off, start fresh and clean again. I'm even old school here. Hold on, guys. There's so much going on here today. I got tablets. I got highlighters. I got pens. I use Post-its. Here's Post-its. I got more notes for me here. So, dude, it comes with the territory. If notes work with you, if dry erase boards work with you, if vision boards, I used to do vision boards back in the day. Still recommend that as a great thing to track things and set your goals and help remind you when the days get hard or the weeks get hard, that you could look at that vision board or look at that list and say, okay, well, what did I complete? What did I challenge myself with? Because I'm going to cut right to the chase. Over a year ago, I started my book project. And I wanted this book done by now. I wanted it out there. Well, sorry. First of all, the book will never make me money. The book, So You Want to Be a Hot Shot, will be coming out. I'm still, when I can find the time, working on the editing. I'm not a book editor. I will be sending it off to a professional editor to improve what I've done. But the point is that, listen, part of this process is patience. Okay. It's creative freedom. You got to go for it, and you got to be patient with the process. I know people who started books 5 years ago and haven't gotten them out. Granted, my accountability partner in my mastermind community for authors, for self-publishing authors, he's self-published. I'm going to be self-publishing on Amazon. He got his book out, man, by the end of the year. So he and I were accountability. I held him accountable. He held himself accountable. He got it done. Beat me to the punch. And man, that pisses me off because I'm like, damn it, I'm super competitive. I want to get this out. But admittedly, Live the Fuel, full circle back to earlier in the show, it started off as motivational and inspirational content, posting on Facebook. I still had my other jobs. Then over the years, a job transforms into a side hustle. Then it transformed into multiple side hustles. Then, I create my own LLC, Fuel Enterprises. Next thing you know, Live the Fuel is not just motivational, inspirational content. Now all of a sudden I'm doing sales and marketing consulting, brand development. This is before I had hats with logos on them and signs hanging behind me from great fans like James of Endurance Woodcraft, and bringing on great guest co-hosts and launching the podcast. Let's not podcast. Didn't even have that in the beginning. Bringing on great co-hosts like, again, David Steele. Actually, back here we go. Episode 223. Let me screen share for you guys here in the Facebook world. There he is. 1 second. Boom. If you go to livethefuel.com, just search for his name, David Steele. But he was episode 223 in October 2018. Stand By Me RP, aka retinitis pigmentosa with the blind poet. So I wanted to finish my shout out because he's a baller. He's getting after it. He's getting out there and inspiring other visually impaired people and helping them live better lives and realize they're capable of so much more. I got to get this guy back on, actually. So, David, if you're still seeing this and hearing this, dude, let's schedule a new show, bro. Let's rock 2020. I like your energy. I like your passion. And your beard is amazing. So anyway, back to you, ladies and gentlemen. So the point here is this. Even I have set very high goals. I mean, 2019, quick little summary, and this isn't even all the points. Still skiing like a mofo because I'm a big skier in the wintertime. We're now in the wintertime again. I went skiing this past weekend. Actually, I went skiing on New Year's Day with my wife and a couple of friends, and still rocking mountain biking. I under my foundation, we now are trying to help impact positive changes in a local mountain biking park here that I ride at. I'm still doing nonprofit work every year now that I can run under the foundation, but for fallen firefighters, because I'm a former hotshot. That's why, for the newer listeners, that's why fire is in the logo, Live the Fuel. You're talking to a guy who, threw his hat in the ring for a couple of years out west for wildland firefighting. And that's what the inspiration behind the book is. But 2020 was also the guy who said he would never get married, got married. So, I mean, I had goals to work on my book while I was on my wedding adventure. And I'm like, yeah, that wasn't going to happen. But hey, you set the goal and maybe you do it, maybe you don't. Clearly I did not. That was epic, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. You can go back on my social media feeds. There's we did a heli skiing wedding, and it was just amazing. And I married an amazing woman with amazing patience. So shout out to my wife, Dr. Kristen Fenstermacher, VMD. And so that was a great 2-week adventure back in March of 2019. And then again, I mean, literally this morning, I'm working with my virtual assistant here, looking at edits they did on, by the way, I have 3 monitors here. So if you see me looking around, that's why. But they were finishing enhancements and launches on a new website for the one client. I'm doing brand logo design for another client right now. Listen, that's the point, right? So throughout this year, there's changes, there's business growth, there's weddings, that's right, I collapsed the lung back right before my wedding. Good times, by the way. That's all over social media too. Do not spontaneously collapse your lung, aka spontaneous pneumothorax, which leads to a lung surgery and 8 days in the hospital. Good times. So that aside, FYI, I'm going to give myself a shout out again. If you guys never heard that on the past episodes, totally competed in a CrossFit competition with said partially collapsed lung, and still kicked ass and took names. So mindset, ladies and gentlemen, big part of this show as well. Mindset gets you over some of these physical inhibitions. But a reminder though, do not listen to your body. Okay. Just going to give a quick lesson from that. That was me being a jackass. So if you think something's wrong, go get it looked at. Anyway, so weddings, collapsing lungs, attempting my first ultra distance mountain biking race, a 100-mile mountain biking race called the Wilderness 101 after I recovered from the lung surgery, after the heli skiing wedding. Fast forward to June 2019, took my attempt at the Wilderness 101 thanks to Brian Strausser of the Strausser Project. That guy inspired me to be a jackass and go after that. So, hey, that's only halfway through the year. Then after that, launching Fuel Foundations, getting the nonprofit going, 501c3. FYI, behind me here, I've got envelopes hanging, ready to go pay my quarterly taxes for the end of 2019, because that's always due in the first 2 weeks of the following year. And then I got to submit all my foundation paperwork to my current accountant. So I already pay like $400 or $500 a month once a year just to get the taxes stuff prepped. Now I'm going to have another corporation to have them do. I'm sure that new bill will be great. Again, so there's just lots going on. All right, enough about me. Closing out the year and moving into 2020. It's exciting. I mean, I think a lot of people get all pumped up on New Year's Eve. Oh my God, it's New Year, it's new beginnings, new resolutions. And I'm like, guys, why does that have to be new resolutions? Why can't you take a synopsis or a summary over the past year or past 5 years and say, hey, what worked, what didn't work, and what excited you that projects or initiatives or people who came across, what excited you, especially in the past year? And then those interactions, like what would take them forward into the next year, 2020. So why does that have to be a resolution? Why can't it be a continuance? Okay. So, hey, these are the initiatives. These are the experiences. These are the people that I want to continue growing with, growing around, or helping move forward with in the following year or in the following decade. So that's something that some people may call that a resolution. Whatever keyword you want to use. I just want to share that today because I look at this same concept as far as continuance, also based on my business practices, right? So for Fuel Enterprises, my fuel marketing, fuel agency, Fuel Foundations, Live the Fuel, the brand, I'm always thinking about that. Like, who am I surrounding myself with? Earlier in the show, I gave a shout out to Brian Strausser of the Strausser Project. So that guy is a baller on mindset, super dad. He beats himself up a lot too. I think that's why he and I get along. Besides the fact that he and I met over volunteer trail work, running chainsaws together. Super fun. He's been on the show multiple times. He's been completely transparent. That guy's been through a world of shit. So that's why I made him a board member on my foundation. That's right. Besides my wife, I have her there to keep me in check. So there's a lot of stuff moving into this year. So again, back to my point, right? What projects, what initiatives, what businesses, what jobs, what careers, what friends, what family do you want around you moving in to the new year, moving into the new decade? So if that is a resolution for you to think about it, great. The reason why I'm saying think about it is because you might not have had a clear picture come New Year's Eve. We're recording this on Fuel Up Friday, January 3rd. You might need more time. Be patient with the process. Make your lists. Check them twice. Going to find out who's naughty or nice. Whatever you got to go with. Whatever you got to go with. I can't believe I just channeled that in there. That's why I love live video. So think about these things. Think about what's going to impact you in a positive way. What is going to impact people around you in a positive way? What is going to fuel you up? Okay, theme of the show today. What is going to fuel you up in 2020? Okay, really take a strong assessment. And I'm going to remind you of this. The people around you, okay, because the people around you are the ones that create a psychological drain or a psychological gain when it comes to your mindset. Throughout the past few years of this podcast show, I've reminded people the classic quote, you are the product of the 5 people or the sum of the 5 people you spend your most time with. Keep it real, man. That's real. I'm a personal example of that. That's why I'm constantly going out and I'm meeting and greeting people. That's why I run a podcast show. it doesn't mean I'm going to cut people completely out of my life. But if you're a psychological drain and you're a negative Nancy, more than likely, you're not going to hear from me as much anymore. I'm going to keep moving forward because I don't have time for that. All right. You belong in some negative hole somewhere. Okay. I can't pull somebody up. Somebody has to take accountability and pull themselves up with me, with our audience, right? That's the point of surrounding yourself with the right podcasts, the right audiobooks, the right conferences, the right inspirational people you follow on social media. If you're constantly watching drama TV, listening to the negative news networks, standing around the water cooler if you're at the jobby job and listening to that person bitch and moan every single day about how their life sucks or their wife sucks or their boyfriend sucks, whatever. That is all negative flow, man. Negative energy. Cut that crap out. Maybe you're not ready to go to the gym yet, even though you set that goal on New Year's Eve, right? Oh, man, I set the goal on New Year's Eve. Oh, well, get over it. Try it again tomorrow. All right? So I'm going to cut this show tight and short. That's where we're at. Give yourself a break. Take a deep breath. Make your lists. Check them twice. All that fun stuff. That's my message for today. That's your Fuel Up Friday, the new theme moving forward here in 2020. I wish you all success. I hope you continue to listen to the show and share the Live the Fuel podcast show. Everyone else out there in the online space. Thank you for listening in. And a reminder, our tagline hasn't changed. We're here to fuel your health, your business, and your lifestyle. And you too can live the fuel. And we'll talk to you guys again soon.